listen to Walking Dead and you are watching the Zeus Tuber, or you should be, turn off that other shit and watch the Zeus Tuber, man.
What is up, guys? This is the Zeus Tuber, and today I am back finally with another Q&A. This is episode 11. I haven't done one in a few months. Kind of taking a break from them because they were getting a little tedious, just for me at least. I know some of you guys enjoyed them, some of you didn't. So let's just get right into these questions, alright? So from Mr. PayPay02, Q&A, did you want Beth to die, and do you think if she didn't, would anything change? I didn't want Beth to die. I wasn't necessarily overly distraught about it. I'm not like, Team Beth all the way, Beth and Daryl. I liked her character. I like Emily Kinney. I got a chance to meet her at Walker Stalker Con yesterday. Very nice. I don't know. I think her character served her purpose. She was a symbol of hope, and I think in order for the writers to get the group to their lowest point, which they wanted to do right before Alexandria, which is pretty much in line with the comics, they wanted to take away that hope, because Beth was that symbol of hope. She wasn't there for a while, and the group was getting a little darker and more savage out there, as seen by four walls and a roof. They find out she's alive, they have hope, they're going to go rescue her. It's yanked away from them, like as is the nature of the show, and then they hit their lowest point. So I see the purpose of her death. I think at first people are like, she didn't deserve to die. No, she didn't deserve to die, but I see why the Gimple and the writers chose to kill her off. I think her character had reached a decent plateau, at least, where, at least me personally, I can accept her death. Like if they were to kill off Rick right now, no, I don't think anyone would accept that, because he still has more to go, and Rick's he's just awesome anyway. So why would you even think of that? If she didn't die, things would still be pretty much the same, though. The group would still have her as a symbol of hope to some extent, but either way, I got a feeling they were gonna go and try to get Noah to Virginia, because they did that to honor Beth. And I'm sure if she was alive, she would have said, I want to get him to Virginia anyway. And then he would have said, oh, we have a community there. And then they would have gone because they needed somewhere to go. So they would have gone anyway, and those same events would have happened, except just Beth would have been a part of the group. So I don't think anything too big would change there if she survived. Thank you for your questions. From Michelle Despress, I believe Michael Cudlitz will now be the... Despress, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I believe Michael Cudlitz will now be there Sunday till 1. Oh, this is about Walker Stalker. It was a mob scene. Hopefully tomorrow. See you there. I didn't see you. Or you didn't see me. I don't know. Maybe you did. I don't know. Well, if you did spot me there, then comment down below and say hello. I did see some... I did meet someone there yesterday. I don't think it was you, though. From Shivam Pathik. Q&A, Dwight or Daryl? Daryl, hands down. I say this all the time. My expertise, my baby, so to speak, is the show. Don't get me wrong. I understand the comic book material is the source. It is better. It's the OG. That's what you got. It's like the Bible for The Walking Dead. And I love the comics, but I started watching the show first. I was like in 8th grade. I didn't know the comics existed until like the 2nd season. And it's just the show. The show has been a big part of my life for a while now. So I'm 6 years now. So I'm leaving for college in less than a week, and I've been watching this show since I was in the 8th grade. So it's just, I don't know, I have more of a connection to the show. But the comics is phenomenal. But so for that reason, I choose Daryl. Plus Daryl's just a badass, and Dwight's a dick. So still a cool character, but I like Daryl better. From Alex the Boss Iniguez, in your opinion, do you honestly think Daryl will die? I don't think he will, just because although I think a lot of the writers would like to just kill him off, to just like say we don't care about the Daryl dies, we riot, we're gonna do what we want to do with the show. I think they would like to kill him, but I don't think they will for several reasons. He's super popular. He makes them a lot of money because Daryl. Whenever you see like a commercial, like there was that Time Warner cable commercial a few years back during season 3, I believe, between seasons 3 and 4, it might have been, or maybe it was the mid-season finale of season 3 because Super Bowl's February. So it was the one of Daryl in the house, and yeah, it's always Daryl doing these commercials. You never see Andrew Lincoln doing a commercial advertising something and he's just playing Rick in the commercial, or anyone else really. It's usually Daryl. Daryl's the one who's usually on a Saturday Night Live doing those stuff, but Norman is their moneymaker. So I don't think they would kill him. Plus the fan base is huge. They'd lose viewers. Unfortunately, they'd lose viewers. I don't agree with that. I think if you're watching it just for one character, then I'm sorry, I just don't see that as being a true fan. If you're a true fan, you're a true fan of the show, not a particular character. You like the character and you love him and you support him and that's fine, but if he gets killed off, you don't stop watching. You keep watching the show because you're a fan of the show. That's just how I feel about it. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I get a little heated on that topic. But I do think, while we're on the subject of Daryl, they need to, at this point, I think for most of us think Daryl, Daryl's safe. He's not going to get killed off. He's safe. He's fine. But he's too overpowered at this point because he's the perfect survivor. He's the woodsman. He can hunt. He can track. He can find his own food. He's great at the crossbow and the knives, so he's not going to make a lot of noise. He does well on his own. And he's throwing knives, shooting his crossbow like one arm, as you saw a couple times. And he's burnt. He's putting the cigarette out in his hand, and he's a badass. I'm not gonna lie, he's a badass, and I love the guy, but he's a little overpowered. They need to knock him down a peg or two, scare us viewers. At this point, when he and Daryl's in a hectic situation, yeah, you're a little bit worried, but for the most part, you're like, he's gonna be fine. He'll get out of it somehow. Rick will save him. Someone will save him. He'll save himself. You need to have him. Maybe have Daryl lose a hand, get seriously injured, maybe make us think he's dead, bring him back an episode or two later, or like a mid-season finale where maybe he gets shot, the season ends, everyone's like, what? Do something to make us question whether or not he's safe, because right now, at least it seems he's pretty safe, and I think they should change it up a little bit, maybe have him get burned or something. There's something not that's gonna kill him, but something that will just make him seem more human. If that makes sense. I still love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I love the character of Daryl. Thank you for your question. From Officer Friendly 357 Q&A. Since Rick probably won't lose his hand in the show, do you think another main character, Daryl, Glenn, Morgan, etc., will lose a limb? Well, I think I kind of just answered that. I don't know if anyone will. I do think, spoiler alert, this is from a comic spoiler. You've been warned. Carl gets shot in the face coming up if they follow the comics, it's coming up in the show, during the No Way Out story arc, because Douglas is firing off at walkers and he nicks Carl action, Carl loses an eye. So I guess as an appendage, yeah, that might happen, but I don't know for sure if anyone else is going to lose a hand or a leg or anything like that. Like I said, I'd like to see maybe something happen to Daryl, just because it would, strike fear into all those fangirls out there, or everyone who's like, oh, he's safe. I do think someone will lose a limb eventually. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you for your question as well. From Andrew Spencer. Hey, bro, keep up the good work. Do you think it's possible that Morgan could take the Negan death or a bolt to the eye when we meet the Saviors? Only comic fans will understand what that question means. And also, do you watch Game of Thrones? And if you do, would you consider reviewing it in Season 6? I'll start with that. I do not watch Game of Thrones. I've always wanted to. I've never gotten around to it. I'm very picky about my shows. I watched Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. I've seen Dexter, Sons of Anarchy. Fantastic show, by the way. Breaking Bad. I'm trying to get through the strain, but it's a struggle. I haven't watched the last 2 weeks because I'm kind of bored with it. I do want to watch it, but I don't know. It's wearing thin on me. True Detective, I've watched both seasons. Love season 1. I was alright with season 2. I didn't hate it like most people, but it could have been better, obviously. But Game of Thrones, no, I have not watched it. I don't have any plans to watch it anytime soon. Maybe. I'm not going to say never, but we'll see. Anyway, do you think... that's a good question. I think it'll be a while before we see the death of Morgan. Unless they use him a heck of a lot this season, and they kill him... if they use him a lot every episode, and he's a prominent character, which it looks like he will be, I wouldn't mind him getting killed off the Season 6 finale, maybe. Because Morgan's one of those characters where I love him, he's awesome, but he's not one of those characters that I need to be there. I've gotten so used to him not being there, so it wouldn't really bother me too much if he wasn't there. That's just me. But I do like him, and I do think he will get an iconic death. I do think a certain character who gets a certain bolt to the eye will still get that on the show. I don't think they'll change that part up, but I do think they'll change up the Negan death or the Negan kill to somebody else, which I've already talked about that before. I do think they're going to switch it up, and it's not going to be, as you know in the comics, who it is. It's going to be someone different. Particularly someone who probably fires a crossbow. Thank you for your questions. From Bush Guys, Q&A. Hey, do you think the Michael Rooker and Tyler James Williams scene on set indicates the Glenn's death more than Daryl because Glenn had more time with both these characters rather than Daryl? Hopefully it's not a death at all. Love your work. Sorry for a long question. That's quite all right. Thank you, by the way. First off, the Tyler James Williams wasn't spotted on set. He was spotted in Sonoy, and the Michael Rooker thing is just a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed yet that he was actually on set. The Spoiling Dead fans that acknowledge that it's just a rumor. But if he was on set, I'd willing to bet. If he was on set for a death, I'm willing to bet it was Daryl's. I don't think Michael Rooker would come back for anyone else because Rooker and Norman, great friends outside of the show, and they were brothers. I think it would make more sense to me at least. I'm hoping it's not a death. I'm hoping it's just for a flashback, or maybe he was just visiting to be nice. Who knows? But the fact that Tyler was spotted on in Sonoy which is basically where they film most of the show. That seems to me like it's either a death or an hallucination or flashback. I'm hoping it's a flashback because that'd be pretty cool. I like the flashbacks. Thank you for your questions. From Nicholas Mercer, Q&A. Choose the more likely to die in season 6. All right. Enid or Ron? Ron. Carol or Glenn? That's tough, dude. Glenn. I think out of the two, Glenn's more likely, unfortunately. I love Glenn, though. Nick or Carter? You mean Nicholas? Oh, I think Nicholas is more likely to die, but they're both basically just goners, let's just put it that way. Maggie or Sasha? Maggie. Eugene or Gabriel? Gabriel. And when do you start school? I start school this upcoming Saturday, August 29th. Well, no, sorry, that's move-in day. I don't start school until that Monday, which is a week from today. I don't start classes until then. But my schedule's pretty nice. I have one class on Monday. That's at 6 p.m. One class on Tuesday. That's at 8 in the morning. That's the only class I have that day. No classes Wednesday. I do have 3 classes Thursday, so probably no uploads that day, ever, at least for first semester. And then I do have no classes Friday through Sunday. So without taking all my work into consideration, I'll have a lot of time to upload, but I know it's not going to be as much as I think I am because I'm going to have lots of studying and work and things, and I'm trying to get a job as well. But the uploads will still be happening. So thank you for your questions. From Lewis Morris, Q&A, are you coming to Walker StalkerCon London? Please come. I would love to go, but seeing as that I'm an unemployed 18-year-old with very minimal money to my name. I mean, I do get paid from here, but it's not much. Yeah, I don't think I'll be coming anytime soon. I would love to go. Hey, if y'all want me to go to Walker StalkerCon, whether it's Atlanta, London, or something, I have my little tip jar at the top corner of my home screen. Donate some money and I'll buy a ticket with it. I'm just kidding. You guys don't. I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. I would love to go, though, so maybe one day I'll see you there. Thank you for your question. From Honest Hedgehog Life. That's an awesome name. Who is your favorite villain/villains, an individual or a group of people in the Walking Dead comic series and TV series? For me, my favorite villains from the comics are the Hunters, and in the show, I would say Governor. So for the comics, definitely Negan. That's pretty easy for me. For the show, I'm gonna have to say the Governor. I loved his arc. I love what they did with him, and I think although we all hated the guy, David Morrissey brought so much to the role that he was so charismatic on screen that he was fun to watch. So I do miss the Governor, and he's probably one of my favorites for the show. Thank you for your question. From Big Kev 619 SD. Do you think in the comic that Eugene will end up fixing the CB radio with new parts and end up making contact with people in other areas? Keep up the good work. I think that's a pretty safe bet because, as you guys know, there's been several. Well, there was the big time skip in the comics last year. It was like 2 years I think it was, and they've expanded and there's communities and there's little like farmers market things going on. It's just they're expanding so much. I think it's only natural that the next progression is that yes, Eugene does fix the CB radio and they do make contact. I don't know if we'll ever see the world back to normal in the comic or on the show, but I think we might get. I think the CB radio could lead to them contacting people across the country, and then wishful thinking, maybe they find out there's civilization in Europe or Australia or something like that, somewhere that's isolated, and that could be pretty cool. Maybe they build a boat, or they get a boat and they go over there. Like that could be that. I see that as a natural progression for the comic, eventually getting there once they deal with all their current problems. From Josh Beatty, Q&A. Hey Zeus, do you think that Fear the Walking Dead Season 1 will be better than The Walking Dead Season 1? I do not think it'll be better. I think it'll be as good. Probably not as good. I'm hoping it's as good. The premiere pilot was amazing, and all I hear from the critics is that Season 2 picks up even faster, and the trailers for it look amazing, and I am so pumped. I think it's going to be... I can't really compare the two because they're the same, yet they're different, because this is the start of the apocalypse, and then Season 1 was already in the apocalypse. So they're completely different in that sense, but I do think it will be pretty close, if not just as good as the Season 1 of Walking Dead. Thank you for your question. From Corey Price. Hey Zeus, you're doing a great job. I have 2 questions. Thank you, by the way. Q&A number 1. If you were cast to be in The Walking Dead, what role would you be? A walker that kills a character, which one? A red shirt with an awesome death, or a recurring character like Noah that dies or leaves the group? That's an awesome question. That's one of my favorites I've ever gotten right there. I think I would want to be... My acting chops are very subpar, or they're awful, so I think I would love... As long as I got some screen time and I could go through the episode and be like, hey, there's me, and like pause it and look at myself on the show and maybe have a line or two, I would be satisfied. So I'm going to say a red shirt with an awesome death that comes back as a walker and then kills a character. That is my goal right there. That is my goal right there. Boom. So AMC, Robert Kirkman, Gimple, Scott M. Gimple, Galen Hurd, anyone there who wants to cast me on the show, go for it. I dare you. Q&A number 2. I noticed you're a track runner. What is your favorite/best event? Mine is the 800 coming in at 2 minutes. Wow, good job. Very good job. I run the hurdles, so I guess my favorite/best event, I did the best this past year in the 110 hurdles. I already forget my time, but I only lost 2 races that season. I came in 7th at the state meet in 300. But good for you doing 800 in 2 minutes. That's pretty awesome. Good for you. Thank you for your questions. From Brandon Labar, Q&A. Who do you think will die in No Way Out? And by the way, sorry I couldn't make it to Walker Stalker Boston. I was supposed to go, but couldn't last minute. Hopefully I can next year. Oh, no worries, man. Maybe I'll see you next year if I go. I actually, chances are I will be going to Rhode Island Comic-Con in October. I haven't got my tickets yet or anything like that, but for anyone who's going to that, I may be going. So look, I know Herschel's going, some Sons of Anarchy cast members are going. I think No Way Out, we can expect pretty similar deaths to the comics. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. For those of you who read the comics, you know who will die in No Way Out if they follow the comics. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm going to discuss it because I'm feeling it right now. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know who dies in No Way Out in the comics, then I would stop watching. I really like Alexandra Breckenridge's as Jessie. I met her at Walker Stalker yesterday, and she was so nice. So I don't really want her to die. It's probably going to happen, but I got a feeling her and her youngest son are going to die. Probably Deanna. I'm assuming the wolves couple red shirts, maybe one of our main cast. I have no idea who though. I can't even imagine who it would be. From Danny Figueroa, thank you for your question. From Danny Figueroa QA, how would your YouTube experience so far? Do you remember me? I subbed to you at 100 subs. Remember, I asked you to do your first ever Q&A on The Walking Dead Central. I do remember you. Walking Dead Central, wow. That was a while ago. We remember that? Props to you. My YouTube experience has been great. You guys have been amazing. I never imagined I'd get to almost 12K subs now. I have 3 million views. Meeting the cast members and just a lot of my friends are jealous because I'm living the life right now. You know, I get to talk about my favorite show on a daily basis, and you guys watch it, and I make money off of it, and it pays for the car insurance, so I'm all set. I'm going to college where hopefully I can get a job and then have this on top of that, so that'll be just even more money to just go to more cons, hidden expenses I might need, see some of you guys, do some more t-shirts, hopefully eventually do some legitimate giveaways here on the channel, things like that. But the YouTube experience has been great. I've had the vast majority of everyone on this channel has been positive and supportive. So I have no gripes. It's been great so far, and I don't think it will end anytime soon. Thank you for your question. From Garrett Barnhart QA. Have you watched the new show Humans on AMC? If so, did you like it? I have not watched it yet, but it did look pretty intriguing. I do think I would like to catch up on it whenever it hits Netflix. And Into the Badlands looks amazing. That comes out in November. I'm probably going to do a review of that pilot and see how that goes, because that show looks pretty cool. Thank you for your question. From Erica Kovacs, Q&A, are you a fan of shows like Lost and Heroes and the X-Files? I have not seen Heroes of the X-Files, but I did binge watch Lost like 2 years ago. That takes a lot to get through Lost, because it's a great show, but at some point it just hits a point where you're just like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm going to keep watching because I'm invested, and you're just like, your mind melts, and it's like, wow, I just watched 115 episodes, or 117, whatever it is. It's a lot of TV. But I am a fan of Lost. Not as much as my other shows like Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy. But definitely a good show. Lastly, from Devin vs. Zombies, Q&A, dogs or cats? Dogs. I've had one dog in my life. I want to get another one. But I love dogs. I don't dislike cats, but I favor dogs. You know, man's best friend. I really want to get a not German Shepherd, a Husky. I hear mixed reviews about them as a pet, but they just look so cool, and yeah, I want a Husky. So thank you guys for those of you who did comment your questions. I did answer all the ones I saw in the comment section of the video I said to comment them in, so you guys followed the rules and you got your questions answered. So thank you. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm exhausted. Maybe I'll do some more videos later today. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And yeah, you guys are the best.